how do you feel about the Christian rock scene right now? Do you feel it like really reaches out to kids, or do you ever have kids come up to you and say like, I didn't believe in God, so I bought an Underoath record?
I've had kids say that, and that's kind of a crazy thing. I don't think that like us as a band really. I think we have have a part in it, which is awesome. Like obviously it's all God and stuff, but I think it's cool like when kids come and say like our record helped them through a rough time or inspire them to like go to church or whatever. I think that rules. But as far as like the Christian rock scene, like I don't know much about it honestly. Like I'm not in it. Like we don't really tour with like a lot like us being on tour with like Famine and Devil Wears Prada are kind of like
coincidence, or
yeah, like in a way, like we don't look for. We're not used to being on tour with Christian bands. Like we're usually out of that scene, the Christian market kind of scene. So it's just like it's awesome. It's like this tour's been awesome too. Like we go on tour with like Norm G. It's like we have that common bond. Mm-hmm. But it's like as far as like the Christian rock scene, like to us, it's just the rock scene. You know what I mean? And we're in the rock scene. So it's not really such a segregated thing to us. It's just one big thing, and like it's cool just to be a part of that and have like our opinions because. There's so many bands with other things to say, like whether it's political or straight edge or whatever. And all that stuff means stuff to people, so it's it's cool.
Yeah, definitely. And I seen you guys were on the Mayhem tour, and you definitely toured with like bands like Slipknot, Suicide Silence, like Dragon Force. Like, what is the crowd like at those shows compared to ones where you have like 3 Christian bands on this bill?
Well, I mean, obviously it's like Slipknot and like Disturbed. Those guys are like way bigger bands than us, so it's like they're bringing the majority of the people there. It's an older crowd. It was cool though. It was definitely like a lot of people that hadn't seen it. It's like a metal crowd, and like you get a lot of people that kind of come out there and just do this thing for the first like.
Seen this at shows.
Yeah, or just like who's this band? Like there was a lot of people that had never heard of us there.
Really?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like if you want to be like classify things, we're in the screamo, emo, whatever rock hot topic scene, not the metal Pantera Slipknot scene. So it's like. That was more like an Ozfest crowd, like a Warped Tour band. So it was cool. I mean, there's definitely people that heard us, but there's a lot of people that hadn't. And it was just cool to be exposed to new things. And like, the shows are great. Like, like from the beginning of the end of the set, there would generally be more people there by the end. So it can't be a bad thing. But yeah, it was cool. And like all the bands on that tour ruled. Like Slipknot, like some of the coolest dudes ever. Mm-hmm. Like we've never had a problem as far as like being a Christian band. A non-Christian tour.
Yeah.
Just kind of like we say our piece, but we respect other people and know they're going to have different thoughts and beliefs. And I think with that respect is in turn put on us. So
yeah, I love that sort of unity where it's like no matter if you're death metal or Christian bands, they all just get along. And it's
I mean, like the common thread is music.
Exactly.
Music, so you can definitely find things to get along with. You don't have to have a spiritual biblical talk every time you see someone walking by.
Yeah, definitely. Now we have 3 questions we ask every band that come on our show, so I definitely got to ask you guys. Question 1: where did you guys come with the band name Underoath?
Honestly, our old singer Dallas came up with it before I was in the band, and it's not really anything to it. It's just I mean, if you want to like being a Christian, being under oath, you can kind of like find a tie there, but there wasn't really. It just like that was a cool name.
Definitely.
Not like a cool story behind it. It's funny because I think of the name, I'm like, that's all right, whatever. I think about it pretty much with every band names. I'm just kind of like, nah. It's funny. It's always like if you think about it, the band names that you always like are from bands that you like. The bands that you don't like, you're like, oh, I don't really like that band. So
yeah,
like the bands I think have the coolest names, like the Deftones, like. I think that's an awesome name, or Glassjaw, because I think those bands rule.
Yeah.
It's weird how
Deftones, yes. I'm loving this right now.
Yeah.
I think Underoath is like most like perfect fitting name for like Christian band. Just when I first saw that, I was like, "How? That's so fitting. It works perfectly."
Yeah, I mean, there's not really a story behind it. Just kind of worked out that way, I guess.
Yeah.
I thought it was cool. So.
All right. Second question: where do you guys have like the best crowd response besides like the whole state of Florida from your home state out there?
Honestly, probably the last show that I can remember that I was like, "Holy cow!" was London actually, and we played this place called the Astoria, and. It was just a sweet show. Last night was awesome too in Irvine. This whole tour has been crazy, good shows. But the Astoria and Sydney, London and Sydney are 2 like cities like out there that we don't go to often that rule when we go there.
Nice.
Yeah.
So third question, the final question. What is your craziest tour story?
I hate this question. It's like that. My craziest tour. I got to tour with this guy from this band called Hot Rod Circuit once. One of my favorite bands ever. Craziest story. What happened this tour? Tomorrow I'm going to go ride ATVs and shoot machine guns. That's pretty sweet.
That sounds pretty bomb, actually.
Vegas, yeah. And maybe go indoor skydiving.
Wow.
I went skydiving in Sydney last tour. That was pretty awesome.
Like out of a plane and everything?
Yeah, with our
Wow.
tour manager. That was cool. I never done that.
Would you do it again?
Yeah, totally. It was awesome. Definitely. Like I was ready to go, like right at the ground, ready to go back up. But we were in South Africa and we got to like play with like baby lions and like cheetahs and stuff, and that was sweet. There's like there's a lot of cool things that happen, but I don't have like this is the craziest story ever kind of thing. So
Well, it sounds like a crazy fun time, so that
it's
still
good.
counts.
Yeah, it's been awesome. Every tour is awesome, and there's always cool things going on. So you know.
Definitely. Well, Grant, any last words for anyone? Where can they pick up the new album at?
At your local music retailer and iTunes. I don't know. Yeah, or an Underoath merch store, whatever.
Hot Topic store.
Yeah, Hot Topic, whatever you go buy CDs at. I'm sure. Hopefully, you can buy there.
Yeah. So what's coming up next after this tour?
We have 2 weeks off, and then we're going to South America for the first time for 2
Wow.
weeks, and then taking a little break for the holidays, and then going back to Australia. I think like Japan and the Philippines and stuff. So, and then England, and then Warped Tour. I think next summer potentially is what I heard. So.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Busy.
Lost in the Sound of Separation is available everywhere. Grant, last word on the interview.
Neato.